russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Guys, I said this all along. If Syko Stu lawyers up, the right lawyer hooks up with him, bro, the dude's going to sue everybody, including the WWE. There is no question about that, because the WWE, you know, as far as, you know, this school being a WWE ID affiliate, they are sponsoring this school. They are supporting this school. They would be involved in a freaking lawsuit. No question about it. WWE has laid really, really low, have not said one single word about this, you know, hoping that it goes away. But one thing, you know, Stevie, again, is we see how this stuff works. Now there has been so much emphasis on the bloodline and the Samoans and bringing in all these guys one right after another. Are we now going to see these guys start to be weeded out as a punishment because of what happened at Rikishi's school?
Well, in a way, I hope not, because what did Jimmy and Jay or Roman or anybody have to do with that? They had nothing to do with that. Who gets taught a lesson with that? I mean, obviously removing them from the ID program and maybe having no association and being very careful. If you even continue the ID program, they might be done after this. Who knows? But no, that's like, you know, a hammer trying to find a nail somewhere, except you're not looking at the actual people. This kid, I mean, he hasn't been arrested yet. There's bigger things going on than WWE booking the Usos and Roman Reigns or Solo. This dude is still out there. I don't think he's ever going to get charged at this point. I'm scared that Syko Stu might be a mark and do the Blue Meanie booking lawsuit, where when JBL and him got into the thing of One Night Stand, they brought the BWO back for 6 weeks. He's safe. JBL was safe with him. JBL put him over. Lawsuit nullified. Will they dangle that carrot in front of a guy like Syko Stu?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the same thing. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think they absolutely would. I can't believe that if he had a lawyer, and absolutely should. I mean, any, you know, shark in the water that's seen this in the Twitter feed, you'd think he'd be getting hit up by the biggest attorneys who want a payday. You know what I mean? I'm sure he probably has.
There's half a dozen YouTube lawyers, legitimate YouTube lawyers, that said, I will take the case.
Yeah. So is that really wanting to be in the bubble that much, and you're in the ID program, that you would take a contract for 5 years that would probably pay you $300,000 total, instead of going after them and being like, I'm done with this carny ass business, bro? Like, that's how mental the fame addiction can be. Instead, and if I was his lawyer, I don't understand how you're not holding the LAPD accountable and saying, why has this guy not been arrested and charged? Because you're trying to build your case, and the longer that goes on without it happening, the less you're letting the momentum die down of where you can really keep focus on this and try and make a bigger spectacle out of it to get a bigger settlement. So that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, with Stevie saying it's like a hammer trying to find a nail, it is a long shot that the heat's coming down on the tribe for this. But like I said, you kill two birds with one stone. They brought heat on WWE ID, and heat by association in wrestling is a very real thing. I don't know, with the BWO stuff, if you felt it, Stevie, afterwards, or anything with your time with Raven, but even if you're just affiliated, every tag team's got one partner on it that's a heater that's going to bring the heat back on the other guys in the crew, bro.
I got to ask. Police took it over, by the way. State police has taken the investigation over yesterday.
I'm not sure how this works in the legal system. Would Syko Stu, would he have to press charges, or could the police charge him anyway? Because that's the thing. If he's not been arrested yet. So now if they had to go to Syko Sid and said, do you want to press charges? And he said no, could they still arrest him?
James Romero, Stevie's co-host, had a good take on this. In UK, if it's on tape and it's there, you've committed a crime, and they're going to come arrest you whether that dude's pressing charges or not. In America, especially LAPD, synonymous, for corruption and other things. Are they going to waste their time if nobody files a police report with everything else that's going down, with ICE crackdowns and whatever else they got to deal with on Skid Row? But this is a bad optic for them PR-wise in a land that is filled with media addiction where they are. So it's a bad look for them to let this walk when they could, play a lead role in that. But I think unless Syko Stu wants him arrested and charged because he didn't assault any cops, he didn't assault anybody else, I think they're not going to pursue it. And is that the influence of Dana White, Rampage Jackson, Chael Sonnen, anybody else who kind of spoke out in a way where there is corruption to let it slide and we'll do this and we'll do that? But like you said, I hope Syko Stu isn't being a complete mark, and he needs to take them all to the cleaners, bro.
I think there might be another element to this that might be a little bit more logical, but it's not right nonetheless. And I've seen the comments on our channel and other ones. There's a lot of racial tension going on over this right now. Do you think the LAPD doesn't want another, riot on their hands potentially? Basically, the media can spin it into anything they want. Just think about that. They might still be thinking about other cases where it really caused a lot of strife, at least in LA, if not nationwide.
Yeah, or maybe that's exactly what they want while they crack down in Washington, D.C. and Chicago and want that. Maybe they want people to give a reason to do that, right? Problem, reaction, solution. But to me, it seems them laying out in the last week while they had this, this is an open and shut case just based on beforehand, during, and after of admission of guilt. It's crazy. You could have gone arrest the kid, charged him, so you got it on file, which it seemed like that would have come out in FOIA request, and release him to his father's, care or what have you, but maybe with an ankle bracelet or whatever it is they have to do. But, it's crazy to not have had him charged at this point if that hasn't happened.
And they did show up at the show to investigate. So it's not like they probably saw the video. You had to, somebody had to be like, here as they're in the building, he might have still been outside saying, I ain't nobody's bitch or whatever, and I want respect. And
I'm sure TMZ is sending cops the clips that they have connections to try and set it up so they can be first on the scene to catch the arrest.